In today's English lesson, get ready to practice your reading, expand your vocabulary, and learn some useful grammar tips to improve your speaking and writing. We're going to read an excerpt or a small part of a famous book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. This is one of the most popular self-development books of all time. I'll read one section at a time. I'll highlight all the vocabulary words that are important to know. Then I'll go back and explain what those words mean and how to use them. At the end of the lesson, you'll have an opportunity to practice your pronunciation. I'll read everything one more time from start to finish. And as always, you can download the free PDF with all the information from today's lesson. You can find the link in the description below this video. Let's get started. The part we'll read today focuses on habit number 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Let's break that down. To seek is a formal verb that means to try to find, get, or achieve something. For example, people often seek advice before making big life decisions. Or the company is seeking new employees. In this title, I already have 2 important grammar tips for you. And the first tip is to avoid a common mistake with the prepositions for and to. If you want to explain the reason for your action, you have 2 options after the main clause. You can use the infinitive of purpose, which is to plus a verb, or for plus a noun. For example, she went to the store. Why? To buy milk and eggs. Or she went to the store for milk and eggs. She went to the store for buy milk and eggs? No, this is incorrect. The second part, to be understood, uses the passive voice. As a review, we use the passive voice when the action is more important than the person who does the action. The structure can use any form of the verb to be before a past participle verb. So this includes the infinitive form. For instance, the report needs to be finished today. So we don't know or we don't care who finishes the report. Okay, let's read the first section. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. They're either speaking or preparing to speak. They're filtering everything through their own paradigms. Oh, I know exactly how you feel. I went through the very same thing. Let me tell you about my experience. If they have a problem with someone, a son, a daughter, a spouse, an employee, their attitude is, that person just doesn't understand. Okay, the word intent is a noun that means a purpose or a goal, something that you plan to do. It's very similar to the word intention. Intent is more formal and more common in writing, but intention is more common in everyday speaking. Next, we have filtering. This is a verb in this context, but the word filter is also a noun. A filter is a device that prevents unwanted things from passing through. This can be physical things or other things like sound or light. In this context, we are using the verb in a figurative way. They're filtering everything through their own paradigms. This is a very formal academic noun. A paradigm is a typical model or pattern of thinking that can be copied. The G here is completely silent, and the final vowel sound is I, paradigm. So paradigms affect how people see and understand the world around them. Next, I would say this is a key phrasal verb to learn because it's extremely common in spoken English. to go through something. This is inseparable. If you go through something, it means that you experience something difficult, unpleasant, or complex. She went through a hard time after the accident. Be kind to others because you never know what they're going through. Next, we have the word spouse, and this is just a formal or legal way to say a husband or a wife. Here we have the noun attitude. Your attitude is the way you think or feel about something and how you show this with your behavior. Learning is more enjoyable when you have a positive attitude. His attitude makes teamwork difficult. Okay, let's go to the next section. A father once told me, I can't understand my kid. He just won't listen to me at all. Let me restate what you just said, I replied. You don't understand your son because he won't listen to you? That's right, he replied. Let me try again, I said. You don't understand your son because he won't listen to you? That's what I said, he impatiently replied. I thought that to understand another person, you needed to listen to him, I suggested. Oh, he said. There was a long pause. Oh yeah, but I do understand him. I know what he's going through. I went through the same thing myself. I guess what I don't understand is why he won't listen to me. This man didn't have the vaguest idea of what was really going on inside his boy's head. He looked into his own head and thought he saw the world, including his boy. This is another essential phrase to know for informal spoken English. At all. We use this phrase for emphasis in negative sentences, meaning in any way. For example, I don't like this movie at all. Listen to that connected speech. At all. At all. It sounds like one word. Were you surprised? Not at all. Not at all. So this means not in any way. I wasn't surprised at all. Here we have a more formal verb. To restate something means to say something again in a different way, often to make it clearer or stronger. My next grammar tip for you is to pay attention to the way that native speakers sometimes use the verb do. In addition to questions or negative sentences, it's also very common to use do, does, or did in affirmative sentences for emphasis or clarification. I do like this song. She does want to help. He did call you yesterday. So in these situations, maybe the listener misunderstood you or they believed that the opposite was true. Next, we have another essential phrase for everyday spoken English. You can use the phrase, I guess, when you think that something is probably true, but you're not completely sure because you don't have all the information. This is similar to I suppose. He said that he would call me last night, but I guess he was busy. Sometimes we say I guess when we want to make our opinion or our statement less direct or less strong. Are you ready for your exam on Monday? Yeah, I guess. This could mean, yes, I'm ready, but I'm not happy about it, or I don't want to do it. Next, we have the adjective vague. Vague. This means that something is unclear because there's not enough detailed information. So a vague explanation or vague instructions are not clear in your mind. Some common collocations are to have a vague idea, a vague feeling, or a vague memory of something. In this context, the fact that he didn't have the vaguest idea emphasizes that he knew nothing about his son. Zero. Next, we have the phrasal verb to go on. This often means to continue without stopping, or specifically to keep talking. This is the usual meaning in the simple present or simple past. However, in the continuous form, to be going on, this usually means to be happening. What's going on? This common question means what's happening?
Hey, what happened? What's going on?
Nothing is going on.
Something's going on.
In the context of this sentence, what was really going on or what was really happening inside his boy's head. Okay, next section. It's so much easier in the short run to hand someone a pair of glasses that have fit you so well these many years. Although it's risky and hard, seeking first to understand or diagnosing before you prescribe is a correct principle in many areas of life. It's the mark of all true professionals. It's critical for the optometrist. It's critical for the physician. If you don't have confidence in the diagnosis, you won't have confidence in the prescription. Okay, let's talk about a very useful adverb phrase here, in the short run. This means looking only at what will happen soon, not what will happen later. We often use this when we're comparing short-term results to long-term results. In the short run, eating fast food might save you time, but in the long run, it's not healthy. So the opposite of in the short run is in the long run, in the very distant future. In English, we love to take nouns and use them as verbs, and that's what we're doing with the verb to hand someone something. This means to give something to someone using your hand. You hear this a lot in spoken English. Can you hand me that pen? I handed him the keys. Next, if something fits you, like clothes, glasses, shoes, etc., that means it's the right size or the right shape for you. If something is too big or too small, then it doesn't fit you. The adjective risky means that something has the possibility of danger or failure. It comes from the noun risk. Next, we have a verb that's very common in medical or academic situations, to diagnose, diagnose. And this means to identify an illness or a problem after examining symptoms. So a doctor can diagnose someone with something. Another medical verb, to prescribe, prescribe. This means to officially say what medicine or treatment a patient should take. A doctor can prescribe someone something. For example, the doctor prescribed me antibiotics. Next, we have a useful noun phrase, a mark of something. This is a sign or quality that shows a particular type of person or thing. So in this context, seeking first to understand is the typical thing that all true professionals do. So it's the mark of all true professionals. Now here we have two different professional job titles. First, we have optometrist. Stress on the second syllable, optometrist. In everyday English, we just say eye doctor. So an optometrist or an eye doctor examines your eyes and prescribes glasses or contact lenses. Next, we have physician. Also stress on the second syllable, physician. This is just a more formal way to say a medical doctor, and this is especially common in American English. It might sound a little old-fashioned to my friends in the UK. So to be clear, this is not a doctor that performs specific surgeries. A physician is just your regular doctor that you visit for your routine checkups. This is a great collocation to know. You can have confidence in something or someone. This means that you trust something or someone, and you believe that it or they will produce good results. And here we have the noun forms of two verbs that we saw a few moments ago. To diagnose becomes the noun diagnosis, diagnosis. And the noun form of prescribe is prescription, prescription. All right, let's read the last section together. This principle is also true in sales. An effective salesperson first seeks to understand the needs, the concerns, the situation of the customer. The amateur salesman sells products. The professional sells solutions to needs and problems. It's a totally different approach. A good engineer will understand the forces, the stresses at work before designing the bridge. A good parent will understand before evaluating or judging. The key to good judgment is understanding. By judging first, a person will never fully understand. We already know the verb to need, but needs in the plural form is also a noun. Needs are things a person must have for health, comfort, or success. Food and water are examples of basic needs. We can also use concern as a noun. A concern is something important that you care about and can cause you to worry. Our main concern is to make sure that our children are happy. English has many, many words that we've borrowed from French, and one of these words is amateur. Amateur. As a noun, this is someone who does an activity for enjoyment, not as a job. For example, he's an amateur photographer, so he takes photos for fun. We can use this word alone or before a noun, just like the word professional. So the opposite of amateur is professional. Here the author uses amateur as an adjective before the noun salesman. An approach is a particular way of thinking about something or a method of doing something. We especially like to use this in the context of completing a difficult task or dealing with a problem. Sometimes the traditional approach is the best one. I think we need a more direct approach to the problem. Here we have another pair of words, judge and judgment. As a verb, to judge means to form an opinion about someone or something. A very common proverb that native speakers like to use is, "Don't judge a book by its cover." This means you shouldn't decide what something or someone is like only by the way that they look on the outside. And as a noun, judgment is a person's ability to form a good opinion or make a good decision. In this context, this is a non-count noun, so someone can have good judgment or bad judgment with no article. The last thing I'll mention is a very useful grammar structure that I want you to memorize. Many English learners have trouble deciding if they should use a gerund with ing or an infinitive. After a preposition, 99% of the time, you will use the gerund form. We can see so many examples of this just in this paragraph. Before designing, before evaluating, by judging. This is one of the only English grammar rules that have almost no exceptions. That's crazy, right? I know that gerunds and infinitives are extremely confusing, so if you would like me to create a masterclass on this topic, please leave a comment and let me know. Okay, now let's go back and read everything from start to finish. I recommend using this part to practice your pronunciation by shadowing me. This is when you listen to one sentence, pause the video, and immediately repeat that sentence. Here we go. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. They're either speaking or preparing to speak. They're filtering everything through their own paradigms. Oh, I know exactly how you feel. I went through the very same thing. Let me tell you about my experience. If they have a problem with someone, a son, a daughter, a spouse, an employee, their attitude is, that person just doesn't understand. A father once told me, I can't understand my kid. He won't listen to me at all. Let me restate what you just said, I replied. You don't understand your son because he won't listen to you? That's right, he replied. Let me try again, I said. You don't understand your son because he won't listen to you? That's what I said, he impatiently replied. I thought that to understand another person, you needed to listen to him, I suggested. Oh, he said. There was a long pause. Oh yeah, but I do understand him. I know what he's going through. I went through the same thing myself. I guess what I don't understand is why he won't listen to me. This man didn't have the vaguest idea of what was really going on inside his boy's head. He looked into his own head and thought he saw the world, including his boy. It's so much easier in the short run to hand someone a pair of glasses that have fit you so well these many years. Although it's risky and hard, seeking first to understand, or diagnosing before you prescribe, is a correct principle in many areas of life. It's the mark of all true professionals. It's critical for the optometrist, it's critical for the physician. If you don't have confidence in the diagnosis, you won't have confidence in the prescription. This principle is also true in sales. An effective salesperson first seeks to understand the needs, the concerns, the situation of the customer. The amateur salesman sells products. The professional sells solutions to needs and problems. It's a totally different approach. A good engineer will understand the forces, the stresses at work before designing the bridge. A good parent will understand before evaluating or judging. The key to good judgment is understanding. By judging first, a person will never fully understand. I hope you've discovered some new vocabulary, grammar tips, and some ideas that can help you in real-life situations. Tell me, which books would you like to read together in the future? Leave a comment and let me know. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Gina. This is Your World in English, and I'll see you next time. Bye.